Boston Tea Party. The crew wasn't harmed. The ships weren't harmed. The only thing that was harmed was the East India Tea Company's tea. And that's because the East India Tea Company basically owned the British government. And it was a tea tax that they were protesting. That caused the revolution.
They weren't burning the ships.
Yeah,
they got rid of the tea that they felt.
They didn't go ransack motherfuckers' businesses and shit. No. It was very, very, very precise.
But I mean, yeah, I don't like. To me, I'm all about people exercising their rights to protest with inequity. You know,
or whatever they need to protest.
Yeah, but whatever. When you protest, you're obviously, there's something that you feel is unjust. That's the whole, no matter what it is you're protesting that day.
Right.
And so but I have a problem when my right to protest starts to infringe on your right to be safe or whole or whatever. I don't get to harm you with my rights.
Well,
that's where my rights end.
That's just like today, they've been posting video in L.A. on the freeway. People
that was in San Diego.
Was it in San Diego? Okay.
Yeah,
people just driving along the freeway. No,
it was East San Diego.
Driving along the freeway, and they're stopped by all these protesters, and they start trying to bash their windows out, dragging them out of the cars.
What I don't understand, and since this is about race, I'm gonna make it about race. Why is it black people only protest and riot and shit when a police officer kills a black person? They don't fucking care that black gang members are out killing innocent people every fucking day.
Innocent black people.
They don't seem to give a shit about that.
I mean, you know what? I would hold a whole lot more credence to their protests if they did that shit every week in Chicago. Because they have black on black crime kills more black people than anything else. Cops, fucking anything else combined. And there's so much black on black crime in Chicago, it's literally a daily occurrence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that.
Well, those are FBI statistics, though.
But we don't talk about white on white crime. Every crime that happens in Lonoke County is a white on white crime.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. We're not fucking burning shit down either.
Yeah, and it's not all.
No, I know. It's not all black people doing it.
I'm not comfortable saying the black people riot, black people burn.
But that's what started this. A white cop killed a black man.
Yeah.
They made it about race. We're going to make it about race.
Well, I think they're angry, and I get the anger.
Yeah,
they're angry because it keeps happening.
And I get that, but white people are killed by cops at an exponentially higher rate, almost double than black people.
It's
like 55% white.
I still think you're missing.
No, it's like 55% of the cop shootings are white people.
Okay,
nationwide, according to the FBI, I think it is.
But we all know, and if we say we don't, we're lying. We all know that we see all the time. If a white guy's doing something and a black guy's doing something, they're going to come down harder on the black guy. We know that.
Most of the time, yeah.
I mean, we know this is a thing.
I don't know that that's because of race as much as economic standing, and here's why I say that. So you had that. What was that fucking swimmer that raped that girl? And the judge said, "Oh well, I'd hate to dampen his future," or whatever the fuck he said. Some faggot named Brock something, right?
Brock Turner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That wasn't because he was white. That's because his parents were rich.
Okay.
You know, and here's what I'm saying. You can bet your sweet ass that if Will Smith's fucking kid did something like that, they'd get the same treatment.
Well, probably.
Because it's not about race, it's about money.
But it is also about race. And
I think that money holds more power than race. If we're talking about swaying shit like that,
right? I mean,
I think money is
the great equalizer.
Right.
If you got enough money, you could buy anything. But what I'm talking about is people without money, just you and me. You know, I mean, come on, white people don't have to have a talk with their son about what to do if they're ever, you know, like how not to escalate, how to de-escalate a situation. You don't have to have that worry that he's going to get pulled over. And I mean, I know black people that have that talk with their young men. They have to.
And like,
but at the same time, Brandy, you talk about having that talk. You have to accept some responsibility on yourself. Wait a minute. And you also have to use some common sense.
Yeah.
Brandy, 14 years old, I'm carrying a gun. Granted, that was 30-something years ago. It was before all this. But you know what? Cop comes screaming up to me with his lights going. You know what I did? Held the gun out like that and said BB gun.
Okay, Ross, that has nothing to do with this.
Why? Why does it have nothing
What did
to
George
do with
Floyd
this?
do wrong?
I'm not saying he
But that's
did.
what we're talking about.
No. We're not talking about him specifically.
We're not talking about him specifically anymore. What I'm saying is you have to take some responsibility for yourself, and you also have to use some common sense. You may not have done anything wrong. You contact the police. You don't start screaming and cussing at them.
And so you're telling me every black person that is executed by police...
I'm not even talking about just black people.
But
I'm
that's
talking
what,
everybody.
I'm trying to explain. That's what they're protesting. They're protesting how often we see, and think about the ones we don't see. They're protesting how often cops execute them on the street.
So here's the thing. Just like I said, according to the FBI statistics, and I think it was 2019 is what I saw. White people killed by cops was 55%. Black people killed by cops was like 30. So
okay, but those, Chris, statistics don't push out how many of those white people were committing a crime at the time that they were killed by cops.
How many were just innocent?
I'm talking
not
about
doing
innocent
anything
people
wrong.
not doing anything, just like this man.
yeah, that's one
And
instance.
no,
And
it's not.
Yes, it is. It's a single instance because it's a single guy. And I know that the woman that where the fuck was she at? Where was the woman at? They did the welfare check.
I don't know where she was at, but it's enough that it's a thing. It's a thing, and we know it's a thing.
And I understand that, but the statistic also doesn't take into account how many black people were killed while they were committing a crime. So
that's the point, though. We don't know which. We don't. Those numbers, just because you can say, well, there's this many white people killed by black. Yes, there are, but we all see it because it all makes the news. We all see this. I mean, we could sit here and if we tried real hard, we could come up with 10 different incidences in the last 5 years that made huge waves where basically a black person was just minding their own damn business and now they're dead.
I don't know. I don't want to dive too far into that without doing too much research because I have a feeling I'm starting to sound like a little bit of a racist, and that's absolutely not the fucking case.
But that's why I didn't want to have this talk, because if you don't, you know what I mean? Like,
but I can tell you this: I grew up in Pine Bluff, and Pine Bluff's demographic, Pine Bluff Dalloway, is predominantly black.
Yeah, always has been.
Well, I'm sure at one point it probably wasn't, but
I mean,
for, for at least the last 40, 50 years, probably 30 years. Has 30, 40...
I think longer than that, actually.
At least 40 years. Has been predominantly black. And I do not... I, as a white person, never had a problem with the cops, never had a problem with black people. Which is convenient because I probably wouldn't have made it out alive if I did. But at the same time, I never, ever, ever, not one time, remember any of my black friends hearing them, having them tell me specifically anything that they had a negative run-in with the cops.
But
not
just
once.
Because were they middle class?
No.
Oh,
Neither were we.
What the fuck? You are so middle class. Your mother had an excellent job.
Not for a long time.
Well, I mean, how far back are we going? I mean...
when I was 16, I mean, she did work 12 hours a day, so there's...
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, we
didn't live in the projects, but...
No, but you were middle class. I didn't say you were wealthy.
But what I'm saying is, the friends of mine were predominantly not middle class.
But I think just because in one small town in Arkansas, or smallish town in Arkansas,
60,000 people is not small.
compared to San Diego, Los Angeles.
Well, yeah.
St. Louis.
Well, okay,
I mean,
fucking
you can go on.
Los Angeles is like the biggest town in the country.
But just because we can say, well, we didn't see it, I mean, but
We're tiny compared to Memphis.
you know, I mean, I just don't think when we know, I think that's disingenuous for us to say because we didn't see it, it doesn't exist. Well, I've never actually, except for myself, seen another human be raped, but we know it happens.
Well, all right, so saying that it doesn't exist is absolutely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is... Fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Jesus Christ. Shit, I had something lined up and it just fucking...
Something about being around a lot of black people growing up.
No, that wasn't it either.
I said it doesn't exist, and you were trying to say what you were saying. So, like...
Yeah, but what I was saying is what I fucking forgot.
Well, I was trying to help you remember it.
Well, that didn't work.
But you know, I mean, I don't know. I just think I know the most. I'm clearly a white chick. I'll never forget because I really didn't think about it. He worked for a long time with a black guy named Greg. I loved him. He was so great. He was sweet and kind, and he was probably one of the greatest friends Ross ever had. And when Ross's mom got a divorce,
Oh, yeah, wow.
he was going to go with us to help her like move her stuff down. We had car trouble, and we were getting the car fixed. We had car trouble I didn't even think about it.
Harrison,
Arkansas.
Shit. Oh,
God.
no.
Yeah.
I was just so.
And this
I would
was-
have just pushed on through.
The car would not go.
No, I would have pushed it on through, is what I'm saying.
This was less than 20 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
way less.
for anybody that doesn't know,
Like, you hide in the back seat, we're going to push the car.
Yeah, Harrison is one of those. If you have a black friend, they need to get in the trunk.
Because you don't want because that's where the Klan was headquartered for a long time.
Yeah.
But I was so
Yeah, you didn't think about it.
I didn't think about it. He was just my friend Greg. And we went into Walmart, and Ross was off looking for something and had to go to the bathroom. So for a while, it was just me and Greg walking along.
Oh, holy fuck.
People assumed we were romantic partners.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to hurt him. It was terrifying, y'all. And it really opened my eyes to how lucky I am. I don't have to think about that. Like, and I'm not, just like how ugly it felt. Nothing happened, but everybody in there knew we were there, and everybody was watching every move we made. And you could even feel when Ross came up, I held his hand trying to diffuse, like I didn't want him to hurt Greg, and it kind of changed, but even then they still watched us. And I just realized in that how lucky I am that I'd never had to think about that before, and it was just so gross to me that somebody could have such a hate on for somebody just because his skin's darker. I don't understand it. And like,
well, but let's not pretend
That doesn't go both ways.
that doesn't go both ways because
Wait a minute.
let him tell this part of the story because Greg had a girlfriend.
Greg had a girlfriend who was black.
She
is the most racist person I have ever personally met in my life.
She hated us.
She hated us.
because you were white.
Didn't know why
And
the
she would tell
hell
us.
Greg would hang around with me.
Wow.
And like say
Because
stuff about
I was
that.
white.
That cracker just wants you to be his nigger, and like I'm like, what? Oh, she was.
That's fucking disgusting.
She was vile.
Yeah.
See, people don't understand this, because this term racist is thrown around a lot, just willy-nilly, as the kids say.
Do they say that?
No.
Wow, he is so white.
Willy nilly.
But
He is so white.
no, this fucking term racist has recently, and by recently I mean the last probably 8 years or so, been thrown around in lieu of, oh, you disagree with me. Oh, you disagree with me, you must be a racist. Well, let me tell you what, motherfucker. Where I'm from, in Pine Bluff, to call somebody a fucking racist, whoo, you better...
You're gonna get your ass hurt.
You better be ready to fucking fight. because that is not something you fuck around with.
Well, I grew up in Bologna and Cabot. And let me